back to Brit and Jacob Go to the Movies. I am Jacob.
And I'm Britton.
And also, welcome to Brit and Jake's Halloween month special.
Woo!
Oh, man, I'm so excited.
Woo!
Oh, we are in spooky season, people. My favorite time of the year. Halloween's my favorite holiday. And for the entire month of October, Britton and I are going to be discussing Halloween-based movies, horror movies, slasher movies, wherever you can think of, Halloween-based movies. But to kick off our Halloween-a-thon, we are going to be discussing one of the most infamous films ever made, The Crow. Directed by Alex Proyas and stars the late, great Brandon Lee as Eric Draven, a murdered rock musician who is resurrected from the dead and vows revenge against the evil mastermind behind a gang of thugs that killed him and his fiancée on the eve of their wedding. But we are not alone because we got a guest on here, and this is his first time on here, and I've been wanting to bring him on for a while, and he has been wanting to come on for a while. So please welcome my incredible friend, Tyson Williams. Tyson, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Thanks so much for coming.
Oh, man, I feel honored to be on this podcast and talk about The Crow. That is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I appreciate you considering me to be a part of this podcast.
Oh, of course, man. Absolutely. So, yes, The Crow. Just to give people the rundown of this film. Most people know, but just anyone who doesn't know the story behind this film. Brandon Lee was accidentally killed on set during filming of The Crow when a prop gun mistakenly had a lethal charge in it. It is not without irony that the story involves a hero who returns from the dead, but that has a special poignance to this film, I think, because the whole movie is so good and a stunning work of visual style, one of the best versions of a comic book universe I've ever seen. And Brandon Lee was so good here and clearly demonstrates in it that this easily could have been the start of an amazing career for him. I think Crow is a 90s classic. But, Tyson, what are your thoughts on The Crow?
Oh, man, I feel like it's an interesting spin to basically the revenge story type. We've seen like revenge stories in regards to, Darkman, and even revenge stories that are in like the likeness of Deadpool in a sense. But it's an interesting spin on revenge stories. It actually kind of also provides... It also provides a unique vibe to it in the sense of its art style and aesthetic, similar to like Tim Burton-esque films.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Yeah, I would say this film is sort of a cross between Blade Runner and Tim Burton's '89 Batman film, but except a lot more grungier and a lot more threatening, in my opinion. But Britton, what are your thoughts on The Crow?
Oh, man, The Crow is a classic, I think. It's one of those movies I sometimes... I don't want to say forget about it, because, that would imply that I don't like it. I really enjoy The Crow. I think it's a great film. But it's one of those films that kind of goes to the back of my mind, but then I see it again, and I'm reminded again why I enjoy it. And it also makes me sad that Alex Proyas never really topped himself after this and Dark City, which is another really great film that he did in the 90s. But I love The Crow. I think it's a great movie. I love the gothic design of it all. The acting in it is great. Very surprisingly emotional at points. Great movie. And also just one of those movies that just make me sad as well, kind of like The Dark Knight. Because Brandon Lee died by just a complete accident. It's just one of those things. Just like, man, it's just one of those things that just sucks about, not really much else to say. It makes me sad, but I love it at the same time. Great performances. I love the grungy, grimy atmosphere of this movie. This is a dirty-looking movie. It's almost like a grungier Tim Burton. I would agree with Tyson on that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my bad. Can I interject?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go right ahead.
Dude, what was it? Like, it's like a grungy Tim Burton. And, like, especially since, like, the 90s and the popularity of Nirvana, it kind of really, like, made a step to it. Because it's like, I don't think, Nirvana wasn't really big right around the time the graphic novel came out. What was it, right around 1989, right? So,
yeah.
I haven't actually read the comic, unfortunately.
Yeah. What was it? No, yeah, like, I haven't read the comic too. It's something that I really do want to go and touch upon in the future. Like, what was it? But like, I think it was like it had more of a gothic type approach and like its gothic art style. It wasn't much so like I feel like it what was it? I guess like with the art style, it was also like not only gothic, but in a sense it's kind of as gritty as like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with like the black and white.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't agree more.
So, but with like the introduction of the grunge era, like it added a type of it added a type of unique, not really like a uniqueness, but just more so it kind of
came out at the right time, if you ask me.
It really did. Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna say it was like it was more so like melancholic, and although it was melancholic, it was also kind of like it was kind of cool in a sense. You know?
Yeah, I know. Brandon Lee is amazing in this movie. The bad guys are bad guys. They are horrible in this, where you're really hoping that Eric kills these guys.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie, I don't want to get into it, is when he's after that guy. I think his name's Fun Boy.
Yeah, Fun Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to it. But yeah, I love this movie. It's a very straightforward story, but it goes along very nicely.
It's all about execution. That's our motto on here.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, and it's I'm sad that Proyas never really made good movies after this and Dark City, because man, this movie is just really, really good.
I still think it's his best film.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Also a great Halloween movie too. So it takes place on Devil's Night though, which was apparently a real thing, by the way. No, you guys are just like sitting there, crickets, for a minute.
Sure.
Because we all were shook when we found out. Wait, what?
But yeah, I really enjoy this film. I think it's a lot of, well, I don't know if calling it a lot of fun is the best way to describe it.
Like, no, I see where you're coming from. Like, you know, and I also see where you're coming from, and it's like questioning to call it like fun, because, man, it's dark.
Oh yeah, it gets dark. Like, it gets really dark in some places.
Yeah.
Maybe not like Hereditary dark, where you're like, Jesus, but, you know, it gets there. Like, it's a sad movie, I'll put it that way.
Exactly. And really, what was it? Like, in the scenes that, when Brandon Lee is in, it's just, despite the movie being so dark, Brandon Lee kind of, despite his character being so dark, he has a type of charm that's uplifting in a sense.
Yeah, like he's so charismatic in this film.
Yeah.
Oh my god, another one of my favorite parts, I'll just say it right now, when he just shows up to Top Dollar's hideout, just fucking with that drip, and he just comes up and sits he just crisscrosses on his table like a boss. Oh.
Yes.
I was like, man, Brandon Lee, that's a mic drop right there.
Oof. But yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but yeah, I love this movie. I think it's a great film. A great one. Maybe not for the family, but it's a great Halloween movie though.
Yes. Oh man.
I also love the heavy rock music in this film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Great stuff.
Exactly. It seemed like it had a clear vision of what it was trying to do. Although there were different things that, even though I would even say that its tone kind of goes in it's kind of seen in a different light from the comics, but it's still adjacent to the comics, but it kind of has its own finesse to it that the comic couldn't do or that the comic didn't do in the 80s?
Oh, jeez. Sorry. I've been having allergies the last couple weeks.
I have too.
But yeah, I love this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. Why do I keep saying that? I don't know if that's the right term to say, but I enjoy it. I think it's a great movie, and I don't know if it's been surpassed just yet.
No, and the sequels we won't talk about on here.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually seen any of the sequels, but I've heard they're not that good, so...
Don't watch them.
Don't watch them.
Yeah. Bad movies, I'll just say.
I do hear that, funnily enough, the coincidences have been racking up recently on our channel, on our show, but apparently they're rebooting The Crow and having Bill Skarsgård as the titular character, which, you know, I don't mind.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just read about it recently.
I mean, what was that? Out of all the people that, like, I could have thought of, he could be... I feel like he could probably execute it nicely.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, you know, he can do, quirky roles like that probably are his ballpark, because, you know, we saw him in It, and he was great in that. He's the first. Well, he was great in both parts, I think.
Yeah.
People have originally said, like, if they're going to do a remake, like, Jason Momoa. I was like, just because he has long hair doesn't mean he can play the Crow. I mean, he's already played Aquaman, even though he should have played Lobo, in my opinion.
Yeah, he should have played Lobo. He literally is Lobo, except he's, you know, not a crazy violent guy.
Exact. Bro, I was literally just like, and out of all characters, they could have gotten Jason Momoa to play. They got to play Aquaman. Bro, I was literally talking to Jacob about it, man. Oh man, but yeah, the casting decision, like for Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven, I feel like they might go off that continuity, Eric Draven. I see it. I actually see it. I just hope it's executed nicely. I hope
Yeah, and I just hope he brings his own unique version of the character instead of just copying off what Brandon Lee brought. I mean, in my opinion, no one can top Brandon Lee, but I think Bill Skarsgård could do a pretty good job.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Man, I can see it now. What was it like? What was it? Even just like the rock aesthetic, and kind of just like that gothic approach. You know,
Yeah,
I love it.
What is it? It's just what I hope that they don't do is like make it like a blockbuster.
yeah.
Crow's like more so of like. I mean, I don't know if I can put it as like an avant-garde type comic, but it was unique, and it seemed like it was taking risks that a lot of comics didn't at the time, especially with the. I would go ahead.
I would say it felt kind of more like an indie type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It didn't feel large scale, so I hope they don't like make it a large scale type of, you know, like we're gonna sell tickets type of movie, or get a big time director for it, but just kind of really make it, you know, independent.
Yeah, I mean, if I got anybody, I might get like Matt Reeves or somebody to make it, or, you know, just get like a good director and just let him do what he wants, you know, without ruining the tone of the movie, and I think it'll be just, you know, great.
Oh yeah, just get a director on, bring their own vision to the movie, don't copy and paste off the original, and I think we could get a really good Crow remake.
But this Crow is great as it is. The poster I have as our background is the Spanish poster, so sorry guys. Oh, jeez.
No, it's all good.
What are you gonna do? Oh my lord. Yeah, The Crow is fantastic. I really enjoy this movie. It's one that sneaks up on you, or at least it does for me. Because I'll sometimes, like, I'll be like, yes, like, you know, like, I'll be looking around, and I'll be like, oh, look, there's The Crow. I remember enjoying this, and I'll just watch it. I'll be like, oh, this is great. Like, why did I ever forget about this?
Exactly. I think, what was it? I think the thing that really I enjoyed seeing, or the thing that really that really drew me in was what was it? Scenes with the Crow and Ernie Hudson, the police officer.
Oh yeah, I always Ernie Hudson's in it. Oh, it's great.
Exactly, especially like what was it? It's like one of those moments where it's like, what was it? Whenever the Crow ends up, or Eric Draven ends up finding out that like what was it, that he actually stayed in the hospital all night just to make sure she was gonna like make it through.
Yeah, it's
like, it's heartwarming, bro. I almost cried when I saw that, man.
Yeah, despite how dark this movie is, it's surprisingly heartwarming in some places.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion in this movie that you wouldn't expect. You'd expect this to be like a kind of grim, dark, edgy action movie, and it certainly has elements of that. I mean, it is an action movie, and it's really well at that. And certainly has angst in it, so, you know. But it doesn't feel obnoxious like some other movies I could name.
Oh, yeah. What I really liked about it didn't try too hard to be dark or, you know, like gritty. And I know, like, with, like, the 90s, especially with comic books, they just tried so hard to be edgy, man.
Zack Snyder! Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry, I had a cough come up on me.
I mean, yeah, get some water.
But, yeah, I really enjoy this film. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's dark, and it's sad, and, but there's a lot of, like, awesome, just, moments in this movie as well. Where you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Testosterone, baby.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yes. What was it? Especially the action scenes that he does have, what was it, the character with the knives, Tintin? I really like that scene. What was it, or even the encounter with, like, Fun Boy. That was just kind of like, what was it, like, that was kind of my favorite, like, or at least one of my favorite parts of Brandon Lee, because it kind of really shows off, like, his charisma, even in a situation where it could be an action scene.
Oh, man. I'm thinking of another scene in the movie, which is one of my favorites, but let's actually get into the plot of this movie. But before, Jacob, like, what are your blurb thoughts on this?
The Crow is a 90s classic, a comic book movie like no other, very gothic, filled with dark, lurid energy. It's very unique and stands out amongst all the others, in my opinion. And Brandon Lee at his best, and he clearly had the potential to become a big superstar. Like, honestly, like, Tyson said this, and I couldn't agree more. Like, honestly, he could have been the next Brad Pitt. Like, not even being hyperbolic. Like, he had so much. He just showed so much talent in this film that it just makes me sad every time I watch it, because I think about, like, man, Brandon Lee, he could have been one of the biggest movie stars ever, and it just sucks.
Dude could have been like Keanu.
Exactly. Could have been the next Keanu Reeves.
He would have been Neo or something.
It's funny. It's kind of like how I feel when I see Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, which is funny to mention that because they both wear face paint in their respective movies.
Yeah.
But it just makes you sad. Like, man, what could have been? But, my blurb thoughts are, this movie often sneaks up on me, I often forget about it, but when I see it again, I'm reminded all over again why I enjoy it. It's great, it's a great movie. Great performances all around. Michael Wincott's in this movie. One of the best villains of all time, I should just say. Top Dollar. Oh my god. But, we'll get to him when we get to the movie.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. But, but yeah, so, alright, let's get into the actual meat of this film.
Yes.
If I remember right, or maybe I'm just remembering from watching the trailer, but the movie begins with narration from the young girl in the movie, Sarah, who's like the token child, basically explaining that the mythology of the crow. That crows are known to carry off souls into the afterlife, but sometimes, just sometimes, they have the power to bring people back to life to right wrongs that have been happened to them during their lifetime. Well, basically foreshadowing the movie, but you know, that's fine.
Oh, yeah. That foreshadowing completely fine.
Yeah.
So basically, the movie begins on October 30th, Devil's Night, which is, like I said before, it was actually a real thing in Detroit. It was when people just went out and caused upheaval during the night. It was basically an excuse for people. It was basically like a real-life purge, if I could call it. Even though crime wasn't legal, it was just that people just went out and burned a bunch of shit, and the cops just were not sure what to do. But it's purge-like, you could say. But, of course, they've stopped doing that now because, you know, I guess we're in a more civilized age, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah.
But this night, it's gone to shit pretty quickly. We meet Ernie Hudson's character, Sergeant Daryl Albrecht, which I've never heard of a black guy called Albrecht before, but, you know, I'll go with it. Ernie Hudson is great in this movie. He plays the honest cop, Sergeant Albrecht, and he's at the scene of the crime where a woman named Shelley Webster has been brutally attacked by a group of thugs. And her fiancé, Eric Draven, who was a musician, is dead because he got stabbed, shot, and he got thrown out of a window. It was brutal. Thoughts?
Yeah, it does not hold back.
Thoughts, gentlemen?
Tyson?
Oh, so, no, yeah, I like how the film was set up. I really did. I like how it set up everything, and I like how there wasn't really a necessary scene that needed to take place. It was just like, whenever it started, the result was right there in regards to, this is what happened, and this is Eric Draven, and he literally fell face first from, like, high, like, story building. So...
Oh, yeah, like, there's, like, flashes, if I remember right, like, throughout the movie of them just, like, brutalizing this poor woman, and Eric Draven. From what, I have not read the comic, but I know of it, and I know, like, he was paralyzed while they were, you know, doing what they were doing in the book. In this, I don't remember if it's the same, if he was just paralyzed, and they're like, oh, we're gonna throw him out the window now, and then he dies.
Well, yeah, it was the same. Yeah, like, he was paralyzed, what was it? No, yeah, he was paralyzed while they ended up like doing what they did to Shelley Webster.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think once it was done, they ended up throwing him out the window, and then they ended up killing her.
Yeah, and they don't hold back on this either. It's a really just, like, horrific thing.
Yeah, like, they raped her and then they killed her. He got Eric Draven got shot and got pushed out of a building. It's like, sheesh. And this is how we're introduced to our main character of the movie. I will say, it's very different from any other introduction to our main character.
Well,
like,
yeah, the guy's
here's
dead
our
at the
main
beginning of the movie.
Dead. But hey, he'll come back to life.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, well, the guy's dead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, but we're introduced. Yeah, that's how we're introduced to our main character. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, no, he's dead. This is awful. We're chuckling, but this is terrible. Like, he went out in, like, the most horrific way possible. Well, as horrific as you could get away with in the 90s that isn't Seven. Funnily enough, came out a year before this movie came out a year before that one. So, the 90s was just a time where they put out the grittiest, darkest stuff they could imagine, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you all of the grungy stuff.
Oh my god, yes.
Well, I think Marvel and DC were trying to top each other as well, or how dark they can get their comics. What was like how edgy it could get? Like, what was it like? I think that what was it whenever just like to the Rob Liefelds and
Oh god.
oh man. Oh man.
Yeah. Those were dark times.
Oh god.
Oh, those were dark times. Those were dark times indeed. But, it turns out that the couple had planned to get married the following day, Halloween. Because, you see, Eric is kind of a, what would you say? He's kind of emo, I guess. He likes the dark and gothic. He's what they call today extra as fuck, as they say. He just thought, what the hell, let's get married on Halloween. But apparently he was a pretty cool guy, because Albrecht goes to the hospital and looks after Shelley, but it doesn't look like she's going to make it. He ends up meeting a girl, Sarah, the narrator at the beginning of the movie. She says that she is their friend and that they take care of her from time to time. And Albrecht, unfortunately, tells her that Shelley is probably not going to pull through.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yo, it's sad. Like, damn.
It's very sad.
Sets the tone quite nicely for this movie. Just fucking sad and dour throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, like, our first introduction to our main character, he gets pushed off a building and gets shot.
Gets brutally murdered.
God. It's like, man, film is not holding back from how brutal it is and how dark it is.
Right, like, it's just the payoff to it, you know? Like, the payoff and what he ends up, like, doing, or, like, how he ends up justifying it. You know?
Oh, yeah, it sets it up quite nicely, like I said.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this man is just, like... Ugh. Again, I chuckle. This is terrible, but, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of it's a strange way to start a movie. It's like, oh, here's our hero. Oops, he gets brutally murdered. Sorry, guys. Yeah. But, yeah, it's basically the prologue of the movie. So, I think then we follow a raven flying around, and it ends up landing on Eric's gravestone. This is a year later, and Eric, you then see some ruffling from the ground, and then excuse me, Eric is back to life.
Resurrected from the dead.
One, I will admit, a touch from, I'm going off of memory here, I love how they don't show his face until he puts on the makeup.
It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because, nice little detail, but since Lee accidentally died during the making, they had to add scenes, add him to scenes that he wasn't originally in, and they had to bring a stunt double to they had to bring a stunt double and digitally put Brandon Lee's face on there. But with the stunt double, they had to cover his face, of course. So, like, I love how they did that in this film. It's like, it's seamless.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, like, the effects really held up well even after 30 years.
Oh, yeah. It's, absolutely. Especially since how, like, dark this film is. They can play with shadows to make it look better and not look like it's like, oh, that's obviously CGI. Because the whole film is so dark, so they can digitally put Brandon Lee's face on a stunt double without it being, you know, he's not out in the daylight or something. So especially back in the 90s, it would have been like obvious a digital face of someone else on another person's body.
Right.
So it worked perfectly for a very dark and grungy film like this, because as I said, they could play with shadows.
Oh my gosh, and do they ever? I really love the detail. They don't show his face until he puts on the makeup, and he goes back to his old apartment. And I don't, if I remember, isn't it like he doesn't quite remember what happened, and then he kind of gets flashes. He's like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm gonna kill all these guys and then die again.
Yeah, like when he's resurrected, like he picks up his cat Gabriel, and that's when he starts getting flashbacks, because like he didn't remember, like it happened so quickly. But when he started getting flashbacks, like, oh my god, this is what happened.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, what was it? What I also really liked about like this film is that like even like whenever they play with shadows, just like how film noirs do it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, you know, especially with what they did with the lighting. It's almost like as if it could even work as a black and white film.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh yes. Oh shit. Sorry. Yeah. Let's see. So he remembers what happens. I like to give you the idea of how extra Eric is. He's like flashing. He's almost like getting. It's almost like he's getting zapped. He's always like, oh no. He's like remembering, and it's
like not getting tortured.
Yeah, no, it's serious and it's like good, but it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's goofy, but it is a little like come on, that is a little extra.
A little bit over. What is it? It reminds me of this one like meme where like somebody's like, all right, got this hot comb. It's hot as hell. I'm gonna touch the hairs on your back, and literally like what was it? Like what was it? The hot comb touches the back of his neck, and he just whole starts convulsing, and he turns around like, bro. That's what it felt like, you know. like his neck started shaking, and he turned around like, dude.
And then I like how he's almost like, oh yes, this is why I'm back to life all of a sudden. I'm gonna kill these guys who murdered my girlfriend and I. So I'm gonna slap this Joker like paint on me and call myself the Crow, and I'm gonna go kill these guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I like it. I love, but I also love the dramatic reveal. He turns his face around and bam, the Crow.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the Joker and like the Crow. Like many people have been saying, like, dude, Britton was still alive. He could have played the Joker.
He probably could. Exactly. Like based on like Christopher Nolan's interpretation, yeah, he could have. Like, yeah.
He showed that he was a very extremely talented person. So yeah, I think he would have been a great Joker.
if anything, it makes me think whether if Heath Ledger drew influence from Brandon Lee's The Crow.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, I love how he like turns around, and then like it's the makeup. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty nice. It kind of looks like the Joker, but you know what you gonna do? Yeah.
That's Brandon Lee's digital face. Holds up still to this day.
Oh, that was digital?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. I didn't even realize that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
There you go. I didn't know they had that sophisticated technology in the '90s, but I guess they did. I thought that was. I'm not exactly sure how much they managed to get before that accident happened, but oh man. If that's the case, the technology looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the thing about like the '90s. I feel like with the limitations that they did have, it's just more so, okay, well, since we don't have the ability to go all the way with this, we'll just be creative. I feel like that's kind of what they did.
Or
Exactly.
no, he goes out his window where he got thrown out. He's like, ah, yes, and then he like jumps out the window. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as you said, Tyson, like they're very creative on how they played with the CGI done with Brandon Lee with the scenes that he wasn't in. I'll have to send you guys a video on how they did it. It's actually like really, it's actually really cool on how they did it. And it's like it's seamless. Like the scene where Brandon is like completely shirtless and he's going back to his apartment in the rain. Like they added Brandon Lee to that scene. He wasn't. They didn't actually shoot that scene. They digitally added him in that scene.
And it looks seamless.
I know, like
Oh my
seamless.
god, yes.
Like I would have never guessed that they digitally added Brandon Lee to that scene. Like it's seamless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was it? It also really goes to like CGI today. It's like nowadays it's just like I feel like with CGI today, especially with the MCU, it breaks that suspension of disbelief. If anything,
Yeah.
you know, it should really be used in a creative way, not we'll use it even for the most minute circumstances, you know? Because I just feel like, you know, nowadays, you know, there are films that just throw in CGI just because they have the money to, and it doesn't look good on top of that.
No, and it really they start to overdo it and overuse CGI. It's like when you overuse it, like then it's gonna become noticeable and people are gonna point out like that's obviously CGI. It may still look good, but you can tell it's CGI. Like, you know what I mean?
She-Hulk.
I haven't actually seen that. But oh man, I need to get a cough drop, man.
Yeah, bro, exactly.
Everyone's sick today, huh?
Yeah.
Oh jeez. So he ends up learning in the meantime that when he gets cut, he can just heal all of a sudden, and he's like, oh, this is cool. I guess that makes it easier when I take my righteous vengeance on these fucking scumbags who killed me and my girlfriend. So yeah, let's do it.
That's the least you can do.
Yeah.
So let's see. So the Crow ends up helping Eric locate Tintin, who's the token black guy of the group. I always think it's Tony Todd who plays this guy, but it's not Tony Todd. It's another guy.
He looks like him though. Like, what was it? He's that dude from Hackers. That's who I remember him from, Hackers, man.
Yeah, I know. He looks like Tony Todd. That's the weird thing
Really
about it.
does.
He was in The Shield too. That's a great show. But I'm like, I always think it's Tony Todd, but I'm like, oh no, it's not Tony Todd. My bad, guys. But
Right.
Man, it's not Candyman.
oh no, it's not Candyman. That's another great movie I'd love to cover someday.
Oh, man, you are not... Man, oh, man, that is a great movie. Candyman.
We might have you on that one. maybe wait till next Halloween time. Anyway, let's see. So, Tintin, I forget exactly what he's doing, but he's like, I guess he's like vandalizing something. And you know, Eric, like I said, he loves the flair. He has the flair for the dramatic. Okay, let me just say. And I gotta say, a lot of the best lines in this movie come from him. So, there you go.
Yeah, hell yeah. For sure.
Like
yeah, that's no question.
He's like skipping around, and Tintin's like, "What the fuck is this?" And then he like throws He throws a throwing knife at him. He catches it like a boss, and then he just throws it back on him. Runs up on him, and is all like, "Victims, aren't we all?" I'm like, "Oh, fucking dope."
Goosebumps.
Oh my god, what a line.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh man, I will say this, man. It's just like the one-liners that like that Brandon Lee throws out, man. Oh man, it's just it's slick. Oh man.
Like there's so many lines like I can quote from this movie, and all of them are from Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Indeed, like he's like it's a good fight scene. Like they're like throwing down, and he like hits him with a crow, or not with a crowbar, not a crow. The crow is just like, you know. I love how the crow's vision is kind of it's this like weird, like I don't know how to describe it, but it's really weird.
Yeah, you don't. It just kind of happens out of nowhere. Like you don't expect it. It's like, oh, he had another vision when he's like confronting one of the first gangs, confronting them. It's like, oh yeah, you murdered both of them on Halloween, and that's when he gets more visions of what happened.
Though I am surprised that he managed to get rid of the black guy pretty quickly. I'm like, come on, like. They're always killing the black people first in these movies.
So it's a trope that I hate and I want it to end.
It's a what was it? Actually, what was it? It's funny how you mentioned that. Me and Jacob, we were at the fair yesterday, last night, and we see a couple people running, and what was it? Like what was it? We see a couple people running. And, they see more people running, right? And I literally automatically have that instinct. Oh, get the fuck out of here. No, come on, let's go. No, I just sprinted out. And so I'm like, shoot him! Oh, man.
Fun. Probably should have been there.
What was it? Because it's like that trope, man. I can't know that trope. It's like, what was it? Like, the token black guy always dies. Like, nah, bro, screw that. Yeah.
Like, that won't be me.
Yeah.
And
Oh
we
my
sprint
lord.
for our lives. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna beat that token black guy that dies first. Hell no.
Exactly. What was it? Exactly. So, like, seeing like that is like, oh man, yeah, that, like the trope in movies. It's. Nah, man. No, I'm not playing that at all.
Like, it's a trope that needs to die. It's getting old.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Like, just like two best friends eventually hook up. Hate that trope as well.
I do enjoy that he, like, stabs him alphabetically in every major bodily organ, so it's like, oh, man. God.
Yikes. Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Like I say, Eric is fucking extra, man. Oh, yeah, and he takes that coat. Oh. It's a nice looking coat.
Oh, God.
The fucking drip in this movie.
Outfit off, other than Brandon Lee. Nobody can pull that outfit off.
That fucking drip, though.
Like, look at, like, ugh. So, oh, man. That drip, yeah.
Oh, God, yes. And he ends up taking the coat, and then he ends up going up to the pawn shop where Tintin pawned Shelley's engagement ring. Keep it classy, Detroit, I should say. And he ends up forcing Gideon to return it. Oh my God, I love this scene.
Yeah.
I love it. He's like harassing the dude. He's like, who the fuck are you? And he like takes his shotgun and points it at him. He throws all the fucking rings at him. He's all like, here's all these rings for all the lives you've destroyed. I'm like, oh my god. So fucking good. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it. What do you guys think? I'm just gonna rant about how much I love it. So you guys take it.
What was it? No, like I like the scene a lot. What was it? The guy who what was it? Who owned the shop with the rings? Let me see. What his name is? What was it? I forgot what his name. Wait, hold up. Yeah, it's. Wait. Cause, I used to remember his name like off the top. Like I'm just trying to think. What is his name? Jon Polito. There we go.
I do have the names on here on Wikipedia. So, yeah.
All right. So his name is Jon Polito.
Mm-hmm. He was in Miller's Crossing, a very underrated gangster film from the Coens.
Exactly. Like, what was it? For me, where I remember him, he was from Blank Man. He played as Mr. Manelli.
That's where I remember him from. Oh, Blank Man.
Like Blank Man?
Oh, man. So, what was it? Like, seeing it, listen, I always thought Jon Polito was actually really great, especially for what he could do in Blank Man. Like, even though Blank Man is what it is, you know. I will say he did do what he could do, and he did do what he did in The Crow. Like, he actually was pretty sleazy in The Crow.
Oh yeah, he's all like, "What?" It's like, I don't know where they came from. They're gonna kill you, man. They're gonna get your fucking ass. And he's all like, "Fuck you!" And he's all like, "Oh," and then he drops like the greatest he drops like the greatest mic drop of the movie. He's all like, "Is that gasoline I smell?" He's like, "Oh fuck!" And he gets the fuck out of there.
Or even when he says like, "Oh, fun boy, a whole jolly club and a jolly pyro nickname."
Yeah, and then it blows up, and he's like, "Ah, fuck, ah, why?" He's like, I'm surprised his ears didn't get blown out, and Eric, of course, is just standing there, gets blown up alongside with it, because you know, he's not gonna get hurt. Though I'm surprised the clothes didn't burn off of him. I guess that's a superpower of being with the Crow. I don't know what to tell you.
I will say, like, that shot, like, when Brandon Lee, like, shoots and it just blows up. Oh, give me an orgasm.
What is it like? I'm just glad they didn't go with the trope with superhero walks away from the explosion without getting like blasted.
No, he gets like blown up alongside the place.
You see, what was it X-Men Origins Wolverine? That helicopter.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god. He's just like, yeah, I remember that. He blows up and he's just walking away and he's like, oh my god, this is so stupid.
Don't even blink.
like it's not his first time. Like he's done it like 100 times.
Even though this is the origin, but whatever.
That's awesome. I love it.
But man, like when he dropped "Is that gasoline I smell?" I was like,
oh no. Yeah, I love that line. He just turns back like a boss, and he's just like, "Oh, is that gasoline I smell?" He's like, "Oh fuck!" and he gets the hell out of there.
I like how he said it. He said it like almost like a jack. Like, you know what I mean, right? He said it so like, what was it like? Is that gasoline I smell?
kind of like in a sarcastic type way. It's like, is that gasoline I smell?
Exactly.
I like how Jon Polito plays him as just like this sleazy Italian guy who's just like, you motherfucker, they're gonna kill your fucking ass. And he's all like, fuck you.
For street grease, you motherfucker.
Wait, what'd he say? Wait, what'd you say?
You're nothing but street grease, alright? Street grease, you motherfucker.
And then he's like, and then he does like the dramatic sniff. He's like, oh, is that gasoline I smell? And then he blows it up.
Oh man, bro, cause no fucks given.
I know. I love how he's just like, go tell him that I'm coming, and you do whatever the hell you want. And he's all like, okay. He doesn't kill him. He's just like, you're gonna warn them. So
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna tell. That's all I'm telling you, man.
My shop!
Yeah, he's so mad about the shop. I'm surprised his ears did not get blown out by that. He's like goes over the top dollar later. He's like, yeah, a guy came to the store, and he's like, what? Why are you yelling? He's like, what? He's like, oh Jesus Christ.
This Joker-looking guy came to the store.
Blew it up. He's like, oh damn it.
And he was wearing this awesome drip, though. I want that motherfucker.
He was a bit extra, but, you know, I think he might be concerning later on.
Oh, yeah, like, if anybody can be a little extra, it's Brandon Lee.
Oh, my God.
Honestly.
Yes. He's
So good.
He's just blowing shit up, and he's having a great time.
You can clearly tell that, you can clearly see that Brandon Lee was having a great time. Like, he really delivered in this film.
He did, well, I see, like, what was it, how much fun that, like, he had with, like, the film, and even then, the band was, I like small little, like, details that they had. Like, what was it, like, even with the song that, like, the band had, like, It Can't Rain All the Time.
Oh, my God.
That's how, like, what was it, the little girl ends up, like, recognizing that was actually the crow.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, like, Eric Draven.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
so much passion put into this film with all the
Oh my
subtle
God.
details.
Yes. Then we get to one of my other favorite scenes in this movie. So, he ends up finding Fun Boy, who's just this Buffalo Bill-looking motherfucker. Like, he is literally Buffalo Bill. He looks a lot like him anyway. I know it's not the same actor, but they look a lot alike. It's pretty creepy.
Yes, bro, he does look like Buffalo Bill.
He's basically if Buffalo Bill was high off his ass a lot of the time. It's just like, oh God.
Yeah, they were like shooting up morphine and stuff.
Morphine? Out of all the drugs? Like, it can't just be heroin, it's just morphine. Okay, alright. But I love this scene. I love he just shows up and they're like, what the fuck? And I love how Fun Boy doesn't take it seriously at first. He's like, what the fuck am I, like, who are you? And he's all like, hey man, I'm just chilling. He's like, hey, I'm coming to, you know, collect. He's all like, what? And they're going back and forth. Then I love, he shoots him. He's all like, you can't hurt me. And he's like, oh, really? And he pulls out his gun. All right, I'll see right now. Puts his hand on it, and he shoots him, and they start laughing. Then he turns around, freaking hole in his hand, and he's just like, oh, and then it just like goes back up. Oh.
What was it, the visual effect for that?
Oh my God, so good. Oh, what do you guys think of that? I'm orgasming over here. Like, what do you guys think of this?
Man, it's just like, see, I feel like movies should go back to practical effects. You know, like, even though exactly, it's like, even though it takes more time, like, still, like, what was it? The amount of effort that, you know, that's put into a film shows, and depending on the effort, it's appreciated. So, you know, there's something really to appreciate. It's just how they went about it.
Yeah, like, say for example, like the Evil Dead movie, but the first Evil Dead movie, all practical effects, and it looks so freaking good. And that's why people appreciate Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man, because it was mostly practical. Like, they didn't use CGI as a crutch. It was, like, mostly practical. And that's why it holds up to this day. Same with The Crow. Like, practical. It looks so much better than, like, what CGI. Because, as I said, like, nowadays, especially what the MCU is doing, like, overusing CGI, it's going to start to be noticeable. You're going to start to notice it's like, oh, that's obviously CGI. Practical, you'll get that sense of realism.
I also like that bullet hole looks painful too. I'm just like, oh my god.
Like clean.
Oh my god. You're just like, oh jeez, that looks like that really hurts, and then it just like sucks back up, and he's like, oh, and it just like I love it.
Then whenever like Fun Boy gets shot like in the leg and like he ends up bleeding out because he hit a major artery, he's like, look what you done to my sheets.
I know, he's so mad about the sheets.
You got a hole in your leg.
He's more upset about the sheets than his leg that just got blown off. He's like, oh, my sheets.
Yeah, your leg's not important.
My leg.
No, but he had more important things to worry about, like his sheets.
The sheets. Oh man.
Oh jeez, and his mom is now this lady he's with, who turns out is Sarah's mom, is understandably freaked out by this whole display and ends up running into the bathroom. I don't know what she was gonna do in there, but she's like, I think she like tries to hide in the bathroom, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Eric ends up having his fun time with Fun Boy.
Wink, wink.
Did you like that? Is that a good pun? I was asking Jacob, but all right, I'll take it. You can laugh at how lame it is. It's fine. It'll be all right.
Oh wow.
Ooh, so clever. I know. But so he ends up killing him by making him overdose on his stash, which I guess he can do. I don't know what to tell you. And Darla is in there, and she's like, "Oh, don't hurt me!" And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to." And then he like he squeezes the morphine out of her. It's really visceral, and he says, "Mother is the name of God." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" This dude's
Also,
great line.
the imagery in that scene. Oh.
He basically squeezes the morphine out of her, and then is like, "Hey, be a better mom," in the most like dramatic, poetic language he could use.
It was like they're like, "Mother is the name of God to all the hearts and minds of children."
Yes. Oh, so good. It's so good. I love it. If I remember, I think Albrecht's like looking at this, and he's all like, "Hey." He's all like, "Nah, this is familiar. I don't know why." And then he's like, "Oh yes, those are the guys who murdered that guy, that Eric guy." And it's like, oh jeez, okay. or maybe I'm misremembering, but you know. So after that whole display, in the meanwhile, Gideon returns to Top Dollar, played by Michael Wincott in probably my favorite role of his. He is so menacing, and you just get this atmosphere, you just get this feeling of disgust and just evil coming off of him, and I'm just like, dude. Oh.
It's like, oh. Yeah, definitely my favorite role that he's played. And when I saw him in Double, it's like, hey, Michael Wincott, I didn't see you in a film since The Crow.
Yeah, I know. I watched the 24 season 9, and he was in it. My mom's like, "Oh yeah, he was the guy from The Crow." I'm like, "Oh yeah, he was." Thanks, Mom. My parents also love this film, or my mom does anyway. She loves The Crow. It's a bit odd, but all right, I'll take it. So in the meantime, Gideon goes over to Top Dollar and tells him what's going on, and he's with his lady friend Micah, who he bangs, but it's also his half-sister. So in case you thought, oh, this guy's just an eccentric gangster, this guy's a fucking asshole.
Straight up.
He's also a fucking creep.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this guy's gotta die as soon as possible.
Yeah.
ASAP.
Oh, jeez. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot he tells Gideon earlier, tell them Eric Draven sends his regards. That's basically what he tells him. Oh, jeez. It's so good.
I know, right? Oh, this whole movie's so good.
Oh, man. So then later on, Eric ends up visiting Ernie Hudson, Albrecht, the guy from earlier, and and Albrecht's just like, what the hell? And then another great line where he's just like, well, I thought I'd just use your front door.
Yeah. And then, like, what was it? I think, like, as soon as he leaves, like, he doesn't use the front door. I think he just disappears.
No, he just, like, vanishes. Pulls a Batman on him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's just like, oh, yeah. He does that. And it's, oh, man. This is probably the saddest part of the whole movie, because Eric was basically... He basically is there to figure out what the hell happened to Shelley, and he tells him basically what he knew, and he saw her suffer for 30 hours before she died.
Oh.
And Eric ends up touching him and just feels it, and it's like, oh my god! That is the saddest thing I've seen in a while. I think I've seen ever.
And Brandon Lee, man, like, God. Oh. That talent, like, man, like, nobody can top what Brandon Lee brought to The Crow.
Man, it's just like, basically the chemistry of everybody in that film, for the most part, is natural.
Very natural. I also love the line that Ernie Hudson says to Eric Draven. He's like, so are you some kind of ghost? And Eric Draven just simply says, boo.
Awesome.
I've always loved that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And, oh, sorry. Were you going to say something, Tyson?
Oh, no, continue.
Oh, I was just going to say, well, he ends up feeling the pain that she went through, and oh my god, it's horrible. Just, ugh. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, man. Oh my god. Just, oh, terrible, terrible. Well, not like that terrible, but it's bad. It's awful.
What was it? If I'm not mistaken, I feel like, what was it? The creator of The Crow, I think he ended up, or I think he was inspired to write The Crow, or ended up creating The Crow because his girlfriend at the time, she ended up dying in a car crash. So I think what he ended up doing is that he ended up putting, like, a lot of what he felt and a lot of what he felt from that into The Crow.
Right.
So that, honestly, yeah, that it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. So, you know, like, seeing it from that sense and seeing it from, like, a point of, like, what the writer possibly could have done and how it was really executed in the film.
Oh, guess who was Brandon Lee's stunt double in this movie?
The director of John Wick films.
Yep. Yep. I just found that. I'm like, oh man, I gotta mention that.
like director of the John Wick films with Brandon Lee stunt double, Matt Respects.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Matt Respects. Because like, what was it like? It was with John Wick. Like, it makes it so. What makes it so like amazing? What makes John Wick so amazing is like the fact that it's directed by somebody who understands stunts and how people execute stunts, perform stunts. Not to get too off topic.
But yeah, agreed. Hard agreed. But I mean, as much as ridiculous as the John Wick movies can be at times, yeah, I'll give them that. It's one of those where, oh man, what a, like, these are from guys who know what the hell they're doing.
Oh yeah, yes, a stuntman directing a movie like John Wick. Yeah, you're gonna get some badass action.
Oh my god, yes. And the action in this, I should mention, is top tier. Just top tier. Just all right there.
Tier.
People get shot. Dude gets stabbed. Things blow up. It's beautiful.
It's glorious.
It's glorious, yes. And, did we skip the part where he makes the crow, the fire crow thing, or is that later? I think it's later, but I might have gotten ahead of myself.
I think that's later. Oh, another scene I like, where, Eric Draven visits Ernie Hudson. Eric Draven, takes the smoke out of his mouth, and he says, "You shouldn't smoke these. They'll kill you."
It's like, okay, alright, whatever. I'm like, oh man, it's great.
I love how he tells these people, it's like, hey, morphine's bad for you. It's like, you shouldn't smoke.
It's like, bro, you're dead.
It's like, but I just like that for some reason. That, like, it adds more charm to his character.
He's all, I like how he goes like, you killed her, and he's like, he was already dead. He died a year ago the moment he touched her. They're all dead. They just don't know it yet.
They just don't know it yet. Yeah, oh, dude, yes. Oh, man, yeah. I almost forgot about that one.
Like, I mean, that's another just scene where he's just dropping the lines. You're like, oh, yes. I'm gonna touch myself later. It's like that scene in Deadpool where he sniffs the fumes. He's like, I'm touching myself tonight.
Man, Deadpool would get turned on to anything.
Yeah, he's Deadpool.
Oh my god. So, alright, where are we? Oh yes. He ends up leaving Albrecht's apartment, and he ends up saving Sarah, who I don't know exactly what she was doing. I think she was like walking home from somewhere. She's like, oh dear, my mom's probably getting high again. And he does the obvious token save girl from getting ran over thing. So he ends up he hides his face, but he ends up giving her a clue to his identity before disappearing. Isn't this where he drops the song lyric? And she's like,
yeah, he dropped
oh. Shut up. Isn't this where he drops the line? Tyson, Jacob, do you remember?
Oh, yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, it can't rain all the time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it can't rain all the time. Like, oh, yes. That's a great line, too.
She made a remark about the rain. It's like, man, stupid rain outside, or it's raining.
Yeah, I know. Detroit looks like shit in this movie.
He does.
I've never been to Detroit. Well, I have, just once, but I was in the airport, and it was super cold. But aside from that, never been there, aside from that, and I've heard it's kind of a shithole. No offense to Detroit viewers who might watch this.
You see, like, what was it? Like, you get, like, a comment, like, I found that disrespectful, man. I've been in Detroit my whole life, man.
She's all like, what the hell does that mean? She's like, oh! So, So on the meanwhile, T-Bird and Skank, which is just a fucking terrible name, by the way, end up going to a convenience store to pick up some supplies for something. I guess they're gonna try and cause some more mischief. But don't worry though, because Eric arrives and kidnaps T-Bird. Oh boy. And this is another great scene where he kidnaps T-Bird, Skank follows them, and witnesses Eric put T-Bird into his car, blow it up, creating the, blows it up, does he blow it up, or does he send it into the river?
Sends it into the river.
Excuse me. He ends up going into, oh yeah, he does force his car into the river, and then he blows it up and creates a gigantic fire, crow. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The most iconic shot in that movie.
At least he didn't, like, put gasoline on the ground and then wait for, like, the whole police to get there and for one detective to be like, hey, guys, and just, lights a match and just drops it on, like, where the gasoline would be at to make a crow, like Daredevil.
Yeah. Not in the Daredevil way. What?
Yeah, no, it's not like Daredevil tried to do the same thing and it just came off as dumb. In this, it's like, oh, yeah.
Exactly, like, what was it? Ben Yurt didn't have, like, super senses. How did he know that the DD was on the floor?
Exactly. That's the dumb part of it all.
Oh man, we gotta get to the Daredevil movie at one of these days. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. But that shot, like, with the crow, the flames and the crow, by far the most iconic shot in that movie.
Such a great shot.
I know. And as Brit knows, and Carlton, me and Carlton, our unofficial third member, we're whores when it comes to cinematography. So, like, I'm already having an orgasm, but from just that shot alone, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm more of like a story guy, but like I see great cinematography as just a great bonus.
Oh yeah, and cinematography is the character as well. It's like music. Music is the character.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, can I mention the music in this?
Oh yeah, I love the heavy rock metal music. I also love the.
Very nice, Jacob.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, I love the heavy guitars, and it's almost like a music video at some points. And I don't say that in a bad way. It's like it's like Michael Jackson level of music video.
Yeah, honestly.
What was it, like, they used to have, like, this song, what was it? It was by The Cure. I mean, I used to blast that song whenever I was in high school, bro. Dude, I used to back when, like back when I was, like, in high school, man. Oh, man.
But, they use the music in this film better than I would say, like, Daredevil. Like, the way Daredevil used that music, it was just like, okay, this feels like a 2003 music video, and not a good thing. Just like straight up Hoobastank.
What the hell's that? Hoobastank?
Yeah, Hoobastank. Like, they had, like, Hoobastank, and I think, like, I don't know, bro. I forgot, like, all the songs that they had. I know, like, what was it? I mean, Spider-Man had Nickelback. So,
I forgot about that.
Hey, that song slapped, though. Like, gotta admit.
Oh, jeez. I have a kind of guilty pleasure for Nickelback. Yeah, I know. I'm probably gonna get roasted online for that one, but
I don't get the hate for Nickelback. I like Nickelback.
Well, I think they're generic, but their songs are fun, you know.
Listen, everybody has a Nickelback song, right? Everyone has, like, what was it? You can talk the most shit about Nickelback, right? But hear me out. There's at least one Nickelback song that you have in your playlist.
Yeah, I like, this is how you remind me. That shit's a bop, I think. I don't feel sorry.
I like Nickelback. I listen to most of their music. I don't care what anybody says. I'm proud. I'm a proud Nickelback music listener.
Facts, bro. I'm telling you.
Like, dude, you can't tell me that Hero doesn't slap, or This Is How You Remind Me slap, or even Photograph. That one's fucking slapped.
I think Photograph's kind of corny though. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree on that.
Fucking awesome.
I'm gonna have to disagree on that. It is a little corny. You know, look at this photograph. You know, yeah, no.
It's corny, but I love listening to it.
This photograph.
Yeah, no, he's like, I like the music video too. He's just like holding up the photograph, no emotion in his face. He's just like, it's just like he's like he's like there for the check and he leaves.
Oh, it's hilarious. I disagree. Yeah, it is corny, but I enjoy listening to it.
Yeah, man, that's fine. We all have corny stuff that we love. Like me, I love G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. That shit is the fucking greatest guilty pleasure movie of all time. Fight me.
Ultimate guilty pleasure.
Mine is Catwoman.
I've never heard of that.
Catwoman?
Oh, Catwoman! I thought you said something else. I'm like, what? Catwoman is hilarious. I love that movie.
Dude, I love that movie so much, bro. Because because I said even at the beginning of the even at the beginning of the podcast, I said I judge a movie by its like memorability, right? Like by its ability to like for me to remember it, right? Catwoman, not even only by its memorability, but it's like its rewatchability as well.
Oh yeah.
It's a horrible movie, but man, it's so much fun to watch because of how bad it is.
Oh, Jacob. But Jacob, don't forget. Don't forget.
Yeah.
I turned 40. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I told Britton a little bit. I was like, hey, Britton, guess what? She turned 40.
You're like, oh, shit. Oh, man. I can't wait till we talk about Catwoman. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Besides, like, Catwoman, she kind of vital.
I mean, it's Halle Berry. What are you going to do?
She's kind of bad.
You know, on another side tangent, I saw the lady they cast for The Little Mermaid. It was Halle Bailey. And I'm like, Halle Berry? What the? Oh, it's Bailey. My bad.
They sound so similar.
I'm like, that would have been a different movie.
Halle Berry's like, damn. Like, is this like Marvel Spider-Man but for The Little Mermaid?
Oh, God. Alright, what? Oh, yeah, Skank is terrified by this display and runs off to Top Dollar. And, the next morning, Sarah goes back to her house and sees that her mom's starting to clean up her act, and she's like, oh, okay, things are actually going pretty good right now. For now. Hopefully. And Sarah ends up going to Eric's apartment, and she just tells him how much he misses him and Shelly, and it's like really sad. And then Eric shows up, and he's all like, and he gives the whole, we can't be together. Well, not really can't be together. It'd be kind of weird. I do not condone pedophilia. But he basically gives the platonic version of, we can't be together because I am a tortured being of vengeance. And she's all like, oh, come on, we can do something good. He's like, honey, I don't think I'm going to be around that long. I'm sorry.
Just to put it blunt.
I'm going to put it blunt. I don't think I'm going to be around that long. Sorry. I think this is just like a one-time thing.
Exactly.
And it's like, but it's not like corny. It's like really well done. It's not like, you know, another movie I can think of. Twilight. Excuse me. Sorry, I had another fit. So back to the Crow. We've gone on topic quite a bit on this, but he basically tells her that he still loves her even if they can't be friends anymore. So in the meanwhile, Top Dollar's like top 2 guy. He's called Grange. He checks the gravesite of Eric and sees that it's open and it's empty, and he's like, nah, shit. So then, Top Dollar, I mean, this man is the perfect antagonist for this movie, because you know the old saying, the greatest antagonist is the opposite of our hero. I gotta say, it's the same, it's clear in this movie, like, Top Dollar and Eric are both extra as fuck, but, like, Top Dollar is evil, and Eric is good, by comparison. Let's just say.
Joe, you're not even wrong by comparison. Oh, man. Because when Top Dollar's fucked up, he's really fucked up. Yeah.
They're also great at spitting, just like great lines. Like he's all Top Dollar is like, dude. This is one of those guys. He's like the Joker, basically. He doesn't care about money or any of that shit. He's all like, I just love chaos, anarchy. Now that's real fun.
Right, which, it kind of reminds me of, like, the Dark Knight's Joker. He didn't really get, what was it? Like, he burnt a pile of money. All he just wanted was chaos. He wanted to prove a point.
Mm-hmm. I also love his line where he's like, our friend T-Bird won't be joining us this evening on account of a slight case of death. And I'm like, okay. All right. Like, okay, you got some bars. Like,
A slight case of death.
he's so casual too. Like, he's looking out the window and he's like, yeah, he's not joining us. He's kind of dead, so it's like, what the fuck? Oh, that's good. And I love later when he goes, "Caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead." I'm like, this is great. It's great stuff. Yeah, but he's all like, alright guys, we're gonna have to prepare for this guy coming back, because he's basically gonna come back and kill us.
Yeah.
So, back to another one of my favorite climaxes in the history of cinema, I have to say. I've been saying that a lot, but the last couple weeks, because we've been talking about some great movies. But this right here, I love it. I love he just walks in like a boss. He just, like, flips over, just sits crisscross applesauce like a boss, and he's just like, you're all gonna die. You're just gonna die. Like, no argument. You're just dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, really? How are you going to kill us? And then they just open fire on him. For some reason, I always think it's oddly hilarious when he's like the dude spitting a badass line, and then they just fucking unload on him. 5 seconds later.
Yeah, he's just like, I just want him. I see you've made your decision. Now let's see you enforce it. This is already pouring a shot on me. Kill him.
and they just unload on him, and he just falls back dramatically, because you know how Eric is. He'd be dramatic as fuck. But obviously he's not dead, so he just, oh my god, I love it. I don't know what he does, but he, like, flips over and just starts killing everybody.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Who was it? Like, he ends up, like, dragging somebody under the table.
Oh, yeah, he drags someone over the table and just starts murdering everybody. And it's like, yes. I could listen to Ave Maria and just have a great time.
Yeah.
So, he ends up killing everybody, but sadly Top Dollar and Micah and Grange escape, and Micah realizes, maybe killing the Crow, that might weaken our friend here. But he's like, okay. And, he ends up leaving. So, Eric, having finished his quest of revenge, I think, returns to the grave. Sarah's there. She says, "Goodbye, Eric. It was good seeing you for a night." He's like, "Yeah, that's right." And he's about to take his leave. But sadly, just sadly, Sarah decides to walk home in a notoriously bad city ridden with crime. And then she gets kidnapped by Grange. Just like, oh, look at this. Is grass green? I couldn't say that with a straight face. So what do you guys think? I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, yeah, like, honestly, what I really like about the climax scene, like, in regards to how things are coming to a close, is, like, that it kind of really end up finding out that it wasn't really the guys that initially killed him who he really needs to right the wrongs with. It's almost like as if he came back to not only stop those guys, or at least right the wrongs of his own death that night, but to kind of really take down the guy who's actually plaguing the city, you know, which, like, is kind of responsible for Devil's Night.
Yeah, no, I like how Eric's like, you know, maybe I didn't go far. I need to kill Top Dollar. That's what I need to do. I need to kill this other. There's only room for one dramatic as fuck guy in this movie, okay, and it's me. All right.
Indeed.
So I'm gonna kill this guy to make sure this doesn't happen again, because I can't stand
Just
for
to be
this.
sure.
Ugh, man. Oh, hello, puppy. So what happens next? Well, so he ends up going into the church. He ends up going to the church where Top Dollar, Micah, and Grange are waiting. And the Crow is like, "Hey, Eric, they kind of kidnapped your, child friend, lady, daughter figure." And he's like, "Nah, shit." So he ends up going to the church to go to rescue her. And unfortunately, Grange shoots the Crow as it flies into the church, which ends up stripping Eric of his immortality. And, yeah. I love that. The Crow is his biggest strength, and if it's wounded, his biggest weakness.
I love that.
Yeah. And then, Top Dollar ends up pulling out a whole fucking sword?
Oh, yeah, like I said, dramatic is all get out. it's just like...
Oh, shit's going down. This got real.
Yeah. Bro, exactly. It's like, what 2A villain, right? Who has guns and stuff like that, and, knives. Just straight up pull out a sword, I'm not stabbing or shooting, I'm just straight up slashing.
Oh, yeah, he pulls out a freaking long sword, man.
Yeah.
And they do go to battle. And it is an epic battle indeed. So Micah decides for some reason she wants the Crow's power. But the Crow, I guess, does not like this because, it claws her eyes out and sends her falling to her death. It's almost like a comedy. She's like, "Oh, come here, birdie," and he's like, "Fuck you, bitch," and just, claws her eyes out. It's like, "Oh, no," and she, falls off. Oh, dude. It's
playing in the background.
oh god, this isn't like so it like okay, this is awful or maybe not because she was kind of a bitch, but it's like it's almost like a comic absurdity to it all. It's like man, I love how the crow's just like nope and claws her eyes out and just sends her falling to her death.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. So, Albrecht does manage to kill Grange in the meanwhile. He just shoots him. You know, as you do. Albrecht ends up getting wounded, so Eric's like, alright, I guess I'm gonna finish this off. So he ends up climbing to the roof of the church, and up there, Top Dollar is up there, and he's just not sorry. He's like, look, I'm the one who's ultimately responsible for you and your little girlfriend's death. And yeah, just not a fun individual.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like, if anything, I felt like maybe like all the guys that were kind of really associated were just, they either might have been stepping stones or even possibly maybe unnecessary if that guy is really the main guy that kind of really put out that hit.
Yeah.
Indeed. I love how and then it leads to one of my favorite villain deaths ever. Favorite just sucking it to the bad guy or sticking it to the bad guy, where he touches his face and is just like, you're going to absorb it all of the hours of pain, and he's all like, oh shit, you know.
Yeah. Oh man.
And you know, funnily enough, Grange, you know, I thought Tony Todd was the guy looked like Tony Todd. Oh, Alex Proyas is like, oh no, we're gonna get the actual guy in this movie. Grange is played by Tony Todd. Hey, look, we already teased you with the Tony Todd look-alike. We're actually gonna get Tony Todd on here.
It's like, yeah, he's just long enough.
He's just to let you know.
Yeah, get your whole Tony Todd. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. And he just goes like, you're going to have it all of the pain. And I'm gonna, let me see if I can find, he's like, I have something to give you. I don't want it anymore. 30 hours of pain. All at once. All for you. And he's all like, oh, so good.
Yes, more.
I'm like, oh my god, yes. And he just drops down and he gets impaled. And you're just like, yes. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
The fuck yeah.
Yeah, just one of the greatest just fuck yeah moments in a movie. Just like...
Honestly.
Just... Oh, God. Great. I love it. I love he just goes... Again, Eric being extra as fuck. He is just... He's gonna kill... He's just gonna kill her. He's not gonna just kill him, you know. No, he's gonna monologue about how painful it's gonna be when he kills him, and he just...
Yeah.
And he ends up sending him off and kills him, and it's like, yes! I have done it!
Oh, I love it.
Oh my god, I love it. So... After that, just scene, Sarah ends up accompanying Albrecht to the hospital because, you know, he got shot by Tony Todd. How did I forget to mention Tony Todd was actually in this movie? I'm ashamed of myself now. Just like, bad Britain. Don't forget about Tony Todd.
Like, I guess, Wincott.
So Sarah ends up accompanying Albrecht to the hospital, and Eric ends up reuniting with Shelley in the afterlife. It's a very beautiful scene. There's a line in this I remember loving. I can't remember it at the moment.
What was it like? I think like what I really like about that scene is how it kind of transitions from like, what was it like, Draven being from like a zombie with like its approach to the thing to him like turning into an angel.
Oh yeah.
Like with Shelley Webster. It's kind of beautiful. Like how it's directed.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. All of it.
Super emotional too.
Oh yeah, it's very emotional. It's really sad, but it's also very bittersweet because, you know, he might be gone, but he's with Shelley in the afterlife. His deed has been avenged. He has avenged his honor, so now he can go back and rest in peace. And
yeah.
I love what Sarah says at the end of the movie. She says, if the people we love are stolen from us, the way to have them live on is to never stop loving them. Buildings burn, people die, but real love is forever. And you're like, oh my god! Oh yeah, tears. Just
Honest, yeah.
tears, man. Ah, so good. And, but on the meanwhile, the Crow is like, hey, I got shot, but it's alright, I'll be fine. Here's a ring, have fun, have a good life, and it just flies off.
Right. One of the, what was it dies, but it doesn't really die trope.
Yeah, exactly. Should have died, but, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But, that was the Crow. So far. Did we forget any scenes that you want to talk about?
No. Well, at the ending, it says, for Brandon and his girlfriend, which, yeah, rest in peace, Brandon.
Oh,
Yeah.
That actually made me cry in real life, in real time. Actually, yeah.
Me too, honestly, like, not exaggerating, like, I was at the verge of tears, so I was like, oh, man.
Yeah,
like,
I shed a tear today.
Rest in peace, Brandon.
Indeed.
Such a loss.
Just like Heath Ledger, man. Such a loss.
Exactly like Heath Ledger. And River Phoenix as well.
Oh my god. Just a sad, just a sad loss, really.
For real. Like, all that potential talent. And to add on top of the fact that he was the son of Bruce Lee, I feel like that would have definitely helped. But since he was like, he showed that he was so talented and so versatile. It could have been versatile because of his acting range that he has shown in The Crow and even some other films like Showdown Little Tokyo, which that film's a lot of fun. But yeah. Brandon Lee, man, such a loss of talent. Same with Heath Ledger, same with River Phoenix. All died so young, too soon.
Oh man. But that was The Crow. Great movie. A lot of fun. Again, is that the right way to describe this movie? I don't know, but I loved it. I think this is a great movie. Again, it's a movie that sneaks up on you every couple of years. You're like, oh yeah, this is a great movie.
Oh yeah, and a great Halloween movie as well.
Oh yeah, great one to watch with the family. I'm actually reading a book called Devil's Night right now from my friend Curtis. I'm sure he'll appreciate me mentioning this. But very much inspired by The Crow, though it has more supernatural stuff in it. Which, by the way, so many great ideas you could use in other Crow movies. Like, come on now.
For real.
Exactly. There could be a movie called The Dog.
The Dog?
Honestly. The Dog.
The Dog. What? Okay. You know what? I don't know what to say now, but,
The Little Pussycat.
Somebody were to come up to me and ask me what The Crow's about, like, oh, a guy gets bitten by a radioactive crow and turns into a crow.
And he becomes a crow at night.
With great power comes great responsibility.
With great power comes great dramatic flair.
Comes with being extra, being over the top.
Oh my god, I love this.
But
It's
wearing that drip.
oh man, it's over the. I'd say this movie is over the top in the best way possible.
Oh yeah, over the top at its finest.
Exactly. It was pretty over the top. I mean, the thing about film, like a lot of people bash films that are over the top, but it's like, yet again, I feel like even with how people draw comic book characters, you have to take it to the sense that certain things have to be exaggerated. So whenever it comes to that, it's like it did it in a nice way. It's not like, you know, they screamed somebody's name for 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Eric!
Yeah.
Like, I got you, Meteor Man!
Oh, I'm definitely bringing you on for Meteor Man. Whenever we get to watch it.
Oh, man.
I don't even think I've seen that. I don't even think I've seen that one.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that one of the ones with Shaq? Isn't Meteor Man one of the Shaq superhero movies?
Oh, no, that's Steel.
Yeah.
What is it? When you look at the cover, you'll be like, is that Eddie Murphy? Because that's literally what I thought, bro. I thought it was Eddie Murphy. And a lot of people think it was Eddie Murphy, but it was this guy named Robert Townsend, who actually looks like Eddie Murphy, and kind of was maybe a stand-in for Eddie Murphy at some point. But,
Holy shit, he does look like Eddie Murphy.
even down to the mustache.
Just look at his suit.
Oh my god. Oh, this movie. Oh, that's gonna be great.
Bro, the muscle padding is like, it's like a child's costume.
For real. Except an actual child's costume looks better. But I remember Tyson showed me a scene in Meteor Man. I won't spoil for Britton, but I laughed so hard. I think Tyson knows which one I'm talking about.
I know exactly the one you're talking about, bro. You showed me it. I was like, dude.
Oh, Britton, you gotta watch it. It's hilarious. A masterpiece in all the wrong ways.
Oh, all right. I will check it out at some point. That guy does look creepily like Eddie Murphy.
Creepy. It's a hilariosity.
James Earl Jones was in this.
Bro, Bill Cosby was in. Everybody was in it, dude. Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. Don Cheadle. Oh my god. Don Cheadle.
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker was in this.
Oh my god, they got everybody in this. Don Cheadle, Wallace Shawn, Grandpa, John Witherspoon, Grandpa from the Boondocks.
Yep. Everyone, dude. They got everyone in this movie. Who else could I think of, man? Was it Debo from Friday?
Yeah, him too.
I still need to see Friday. I haven't actually seen that whole movie.
No, it's all cool.
I thought you were gonna go like, oh, why, no. Oh my god, Bill Cosby was in this? Oh, dude. Eddie Griffin,
Eddie Murphy's doppelganger also directed it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
He wrote the film, directed it, produced it, and acted in it. He started it. He did everything.
Yep. Meteor.
Might have to.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I might have to check this out at some point. This just. This looks.
So many stories about this film.
It looks amazingly bad. I have to see it at this point.
Oh man, bro. Oh man, yes, bro. Yes. And anything I would even advocate for a live reaction of the film.
We'll put that whenever we start live reactions of Brit and Jacob live reaction movies.
Brit and Jake's audio commentary.
Oh jeez, that'll be for our Patreon supporters. If we ever start one of those. Oh man, what's another? But, you know, we got some time. What are some movies you guys have seen recently? Or is there any news that has come out recently that you guys might check out, that you guys have been interested in?
Well, I catched up on She-Hulk, and Tyson, while we were hanging out yesterday, he asked me, what are your thoughts on She-Hulk? And I was like, and he was like, yep, yep, that explains it perfectly.
Wow, The Meteor Man was Chris Tucker's first role. What a movie to start out your career with. Oh my god.
Was Eddie Griffin was in it? Undercover Brother?
Oh,
like,
man.
Eddie, oh man. I'm trying to... It had so many people in it. Like, bro. I don't like it had so much star power in it, and it just... Man.
It was a phenomenal movie in the worst way.
Yeah.
You know, I've been thinking about it. It's like what movies to bring Tyson on, and you know, we've actually been talking about Ang Lee's Hulk quite a bit.
Oh my god.
Like, we're gonna bring him on for Ang Lee's Hulk because
man.
we have some opinions on that one.
Oh man, I'm actually, I remember seeing that when I was a kid, and I remember really liking that movie, and now I'm just like, oh god, what did I see in that? I mean, I haven't seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, aside from a couple of fighting scenes, but how did the guy who made that make the Incredible Hulk?
Man, see, the thing that really gets it for me is just the editing.
Jeez, don't even talk about that.
The panels is just lazy.
Well, it is spookathon, so I'm trying to watch some horror movies this month that I haven't caught just yet. Definitely going to be doing that. I've been reading some stuff. I got some comics back here and some books to read for Halloween season. My buddy Curtis, I'm reading his book Devil's Night, so go read it. I'm really enjoying it so far. I did see Harper with Paul Newman in it. It's an old movie from like the 60s, and I'm like, I like Paul Newman. Let's see what this movie's all about. And, man, pretty good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
I still need to see Harper. Like, I would want to see.
Indeed. I want to see, I actually wanted to rewatch Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid because it just came on HBO Max.
Rewatch what?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh, yeah.
I do wish I re-caught The Crow, because it's a great movie, but, you know, I couldn't find it anywhere, so, sorry, guys.
No, it's all cool, yeah. You basically got it, you know, basically got the whole thing. What was it? Yeah, no, like, what was it, in regards to, like, you remembered it. You remember pretty well. Like, I was just kind of worried that I wasn't going to remember it, because I need to catch up on that movie as well.
Yeah, I know, it's a weird thing that we're in nowadays. We're a bit spoiled for content. I haven't watched She-Hulk or anything like that, because, you know, I've told Jacob this a few times, just trying to take a break from the MCU right now, like, they keep trying to, like, dick tease me, and I'm all like, guys, come on, stop, right now. Stop with the sexy content, okay? Please stop teasing me. I'm on a break right now.
See, like, man, the biggest thing for me... See, the biggest reason why I kind of, like, have been a little hesitant on watching She-Hulk is the, like, Meg the Stallion thing that they did. And they're gonna bring Kim Kardashian on She-Hulk.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. And that makes me worried on how they're gonna handle Daredevil.
Oh, dear.
Man.
Well, my friend, our mutual friend of the show, Todd, was like, it got a bit better, but the CG is still horrendous. I'm like, oh boy, that's comforting. Thanks, Todd.
He's right though.
It got.
I compare it to, like, remember Robert Zemeckis and like his like photorealistic CGI movies?
Oh.
Christmas Carol.
I actually kind of like that movie. Okay, guys, don't talk shit about Christmas Carol.
I mean, I'll be honest and say Jim Carrey was probably one of the best people to get because he could move his face.
That dude can move his body like few others.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
like perfect choice for Ebenezer Scrooge, I think.
And have you guys seen Mars Needs Moms?
We don't discuss that.
I have not seen this, but I'm like not planning on it. It looks bad.
It looks terrible.
It looks laughable.
Terrible. I'm telling you guys right now, don't watch it. Or maybe do and just tell me how bad it was.
Polar Express is one I actually remember fondly from my childhood. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They got, so for The Crow, they got 9 Inch Nails, Stone Temple Pilots, The Cure, Pantera. So that basically all of the bands from the 90s, man.
Yup.
This-
Oh man, when I heard 9 Inch Nails, I was like, oh yeah, okay.
This is the most 90s film of all time, and it's not like super dumb.
Oh no, not at all. 90s, like it's a 90s movie, but in a great way. It's like Back to the Future. It's such an 80s movie, but 80s in all the ways.
It's so 80s that they predicted like that it would like that we would be so ahead in technology like 2015.
They kind of got it right. Not quite, but...
Cars in 2015.
Exactly. Like what they did get right is that like by 2015 everybody was like on that nostalgia trip with the 80s because like Stranger Things came out around that time. So I guess they are right about that. But we don't have no hoverboards and hover cars.
Like we have those now. Well, not
Like-
hoverboards, not hoverboards.
Oh no, yeah, like now, but back then, what was it? The closest thing to a hoverboard was handleless Segway.
Yeah.
I also
Take the hoverboard.
rewatched, Scream the other day.
Classic.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a great film. I'm not a big slasher guy, as you know. Carlton and I have debated about this a few times, but I've just never been all that interested in it. And, yeah, so there you go. But there's some slashers I like.
Yeah, I'm on and off for slashers. Like, there's some really good ones, like Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream, but we'll get some mediocre ones like Friday the 13th movies. But
Oh, God.
My favorite one is Jason Lives is my favorite one because it's hilarious.
Oh, man, it's hilarious. Like, some of those movies got real funny from time to time.
Oh yeah, but Jason Lives is like, that's the ultimate hilariosity. Like by far my favorite out of all of them. My favorite Friday the 13th ones are the ones that don't take themselves seriously.
Oh, sorry. I was checking to see when our anniversary is, but Jacob, I gotta tell you something, man.
1 year?
Almost been a year. We are approaching the year anniversary of Brit and Jake Go to the Movies. I am surprised pleasantly that we've made it this far.
Same here. I'm proud of ourselves.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy we've made it this far without losing steam.
And I really will think that's.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. So I gotta ask, Jacob. Like, what have been some of your favorite episodes so far?
Oh man, where do I even start? Well, by far, our Amazing Spider-Man episodes, especially Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah, fun one.
Our Jangle and Chain episode was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
All of our episodes with Carlton on was a lot of fun. Our Thorthon was pretty fun. What else?
Though it did make me worried for Brit and Jake Go to the Movies' fate for a while, because we were gone for a little bit because some stuff came up. Ty was on vacation. Then or something happened with me. It was just, oh god, and then we finally were like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, it was kind of a shit show.
And but we did it.
Even now, this episode, this episode has been a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I love all the guest spots we've done, including this one. I love the Spider-Man-a-thon, just all of it.
Our Incredibles episode. The most fun I've had recording.
Oh man, I'll admit that exhausted me, but it was fun to do. Oh yes, also love the Incredibles. That was that was another one I just had a lot of fun talking about.
Our Persona episode with Raymond on there.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one too. I'd love to have Raymond back on here again at some point, but
I guess I beat the talk with him about, but yeah.
Are you still gonna roast me about not loving Fight Club?
Yeah. Well, I got some beef. I got some things to talk about with Raymond about your happy hour with him on there. But yeah, we're gonna destroy you for Fight Club.
Look, Seven's a better movie. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just a better movie.
Just get ready, Brit, because.
All right, I'm just saying.
In the Fight Club on that episode. Oh, also our Snyder Cut part 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, where I got drunk off my ass on the first one. Yeah, I'll admit I did not think we were gonna get through the whole movie, even with me being drunk as shit. Because I'm all like, I think we might have to cut this into 2 parts because it's a long ass movie and there's a lot of shit to talk about. I also learned of your hate boner against Guy Gardner, which I'm like, okay.
Yeah, me and Carl, we fucking hate Guy Gardner.
I know. Carlton gave me I had him do a commission for me the other day, and I was thinking about fucking with him and getting him to draw a Guy Gardner for me, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna torture him with that. I'm like, he hasn't done anything to deserve that just yet. Jon Stewart is better than Hal Jordan. Fight me. That's all I'll say about that.
Facts.
Tyson, have you encountered anything new?
I have not actually. I'm sorry. I kind of feel like I don't really know if there's really much I can add to the table because I haven't really seen a movie in a minute.
That's disappointing.
It is. Shame on me.
Yeah, Carl. Yeah, no, Carlton's threatened to disown me because I don't like The Matrix. That's another one people just.
What?
Oh my gosh. People roast the shit out of me for not liking The Matrix. I'm like, look, I'm sorry, guys. I just don't like him. I just don't. I'm sorry. Jacob's fine with it, but there's some other people that are they just roast the shit out of me for not liking him. I'm like,
I'm more bothered that you don't love Fight Club than you don't like the movie.
You know what? That's fair. That's another 1999. Funnily enough, another 1999 movie that came out that I'm like, I can take it. I can take or leave on that.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Wait. Say what you want about Fight Club, but the soundtrack though.
Okay, the soundtrack to Fight Club does slap. Where Is My Mind's a great song.
Yeah.
To be
at
fair,
least the soundtrack was great.
The soundtrack was amazing. It reminds me of the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So, Jacob, you want to beef with Raymond about Happy Feet or Happy Time? What?
No, your hangout hour with him on there.
Oh.
He brought up Van Forstick and didn't even bother to mention me, so I'm salty. My least favorite film of all time, and you don't even bother to mention me.
Oh, yeah, no. I wish that would have gone on longer, but I was tired. I got up at 9 in the morning, So, as you could probably tell, for that episode, and I'm like, I ran out of shit to talk about. Sorry, guys. And he's like, all right, let's end it here.
For the fun of it, I might bring Raymond on for Happy Feet just because, just like fuck it. But you brought it up, I was like, for Happy Feet? I'm like, fuck it, we'll bring him on for Happy Feet.
I remember seeing Happy Feet in theaters with my grandma, and I was like, what the hell even is this movie?
It was something. I'll just say that.
It's about a penguin who can dance. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Like a penguin that can tap dance.
It's like Ants. You know, you remember that movie, Ants? Woody Allen's in it. He plays that ant, and it's like a Bug's Life, except it's like What was Ants? That's another movie where I'm just like, what is this movie? Why was this necessary to make?
A Bug's Life ripoff, that's what it is.
It's like, oh god, what's another movie where I'm like, what the hell even is this? It's just a Shark's Tale. That's a good one. A Shark Tale.
Yeah.
A recurring punching bag of our show. You know, I love Martin Scorsese, and I know he doesn't love the Marvel movies, and hey, that's his opinion, and he's free to believe that, but my good sir, at least they weren't a Shark Tale. At least I can live with my dignity and say I wasn't in a Shark Tale.
I always go back to you being that movie that has the fishes with the actor's face on it.
Ugh, I don't even want to talk about a Shark's Tale. Like, I dread that day. That film is just agony throughout the entirety of it. Like, I'm not even sorry for thinking that. It is just straight up agony.
That fish had, like, Will Smith's ears.
I know! It's... Oh, God. Fucking terrible Italian stereotypes. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. And then it had, like, the Jamaican, like, jellyfish.
Oh.
Oh, shit. And the fact that it won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature.
Oh my god. It wasn't even that good. Let me see. Hold on.
Finding Nemo came out the same year, though.
How did Finding Nemo not win? How?
Oh, man.
Oh, okay, it lost to The Incredibles. Like, okay, hold on a second. Alright, there we go. That makes me feel a little better. But, oh my god, if Finding Nemo lost this movie, I would have thrown a tantrum. Finding Nemo is a way better movie than this.
There's no question.
Finding Nemo, if anything, the original Pixar movies were kind of like masterpieces, man.
They were. Like Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles.
The Incredibles was beautiful.
It was.
We talked about The Incredibles a few weeks ago. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just not like flexing, but you know, I really enjoyed talking about that movie.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Oh man. Let's see.
I apologize for this, but I need to, or I have something that I need to do. You don't know, like, if I can, like, exit the podcast or, like...
Oh, no, it's alright. We can just finish it here. Let me just pick my movie real quick. Jacob, have you seen Scream?
Scream, yes I have.
Alright, I was gonna flip a coin, either this or Silence of the Lambs if you haven't seen Scream, but I want to talk about Scream next week.
I'm down for that. I love Scream.
Great film. I was gonna have Carlton on, and I asked him about it, and he's like, nah, I like some other ones better. So I'm like, fuck it. But I do want to have him on during the spookathon, at least. So.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But, yeah, alright, Jacob, I'll let you take it from here.
Alrighty, awesome. been yet another episode of Brit and Jacob Go to Movies, and our start on our spookathon. And to our guest Tyson, dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, dude. Anytime. Like, I honestly, I felt welcome and honored to be a part of this. Thank you guys for bringing me on as well. This was a heck of a conversation.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself.
I did too. I definitely plan on bringing you on again for sure, man.
Yeah, of course. Anytime, reach out.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, most def.
All right. I have been Jacob.
And I've been Britton.
And what is it that you say, Britton?
We do it for the love of the movies.
Yes, we do.
Alright, see you guys later.